Hey there, this video is slightly different. The original recording for this got a little bit corrupted. I had like 2 minutes where I'm just sort of sounding like a robot because it's just lagging for some unknown reason, so I am just sort of having to re-record this entire thing, so it'll look a bit different. Just a heads up. Hello there, Shepherd Chong here, bringing to you another episode of Abyssalcraft is Kind of Awesome. And I do believe this will be the final episode for the Abyssal Wasteland, because we are finally getting to, an important thing that I probably should have covered earlier, but whatever. Okay, so, what is it? It is the Abyssal Stronghold. I mentioned in one of the videos that the Abyssal Wasteland basically has, in the overworld, there's the Stronghold, which is a dungeon that leads to an end portal, which is how you get to the end. The Abyssal Wasteland has a stronghold made of abyssal brick, and instead of an end portal, you find an item called the Dreadlands Infused Power Stone, which is an item you need to get to the next dimension. I also mentioned this item here, the Power Stone Tracker, which is much like the Eyes of Ender, is how you find it. How you find the stronghold, that is. And you make them by taking an Eye of Ender in the center and surrounding it with single corallium gems. And the recipe makes 4 of them. So they work exactly like the Eyes of Ender. You click on it, it goes up, and there it goes. It stops away, falls, or breaks. It's unfortunate when they break. And you can just continue clicking them until you eventually find the place, which, I mean, it's not, I mean, it is sort of the traditional method for finding them. But there is another way you can use these things, and I'm going to get into that right now. I'll keep in mind this, method is somewhat more complicated than just clicking on them and following them. But in case you've got like resource problems in game, it does use an Eye of Ender. Crown gems probably aren't a problem for you by this point. You're in the Abyssal Wasteland. But yeah, this way is a bit more complicated, but it will save you resources. It'll only save you time if you're good at math. Oh, that other recording I did. Oh boy. I think I might throw some of the surviving stuff in as an extra or something just to show you how bad I am at math. But anyway, so what does this method do? How do you do it? Well, first off, you got to pay attention to your coordinates. In this case, I am at -135x, y68, z210. The y is not important. What you want to pay attention to is the x and the z. Now, -135, 68. Click on this, and let's see where it falls. Oh, it broke. But it broke about here. So this is x -142 and z 202. Now, why do you want to pay attention to those? This involves geometry, so keep in mind, I'm bad at geometry. I failed it 3 times in high school. I am bad at it. So those 2 points, the previous coordinates and those coordinates, are 2 points on a line. Now, eventually that line will lead you to a stronghold. So if you want to do this a bit more accurately, you could do it again and go to where it hovers, and note these coordinates, -151 and z192, and you'll have a 3rd point on the line, which is also useful, but again, resources. So, like I said, that line will eventually get you to a stronghold. But of course, just doing that is basically no different than just clicking on them and making them go. So what do? Well, you go to another point. I'm going to say around 100 blocks away is a good way to tell, just because it's far enough away that you get good triangulation, which this sort of is. Proper triangulation is a bit more complicated. But anyway, your new coordinates for this are x -37 and z 138. And this is a new point on a different line. Okay. And click. Go towards it. And oof. Next coordinates are -48 and z 133. Now, these two new coordinates are 2 points on another line. Where those two lines intersect is where the stronghold is. Now, what's the advantage? Again, this is about resources and time. If you're good at math, this is easy. I'm bad at math. I need like graph paper or something to do this. I recommend that. It's useful. Yeah, so anyway, I think I'm gonna edit here until we get to the stronghold. Okay, so now I'm at the area where the stronghold is gonna be. I think I threw in a few extra words there. Oh well. Now, if you did your math, which I didn't, I'm creative. I just spam these things. That original. Okay. If you did your math, you'll probably have an easier time finding this than I did, honestly, even with just spamming it. Because that math basically cannot fail unless you do it wrong. Which is basically what math is all about. But anyway, so how can you tell when you've reached the place? Well, the Power Stone tracker, instead of going, I'm flying at the moment, so you notice it went down. Well, if I back up a bit, I'm flying at the moment, and it goes up. So, what does that mean? It means you found the entrance. It's going down. Hovering there, that one broke. Better close-up of what it looks like when they break. So what does it look like if I do it from on the ground? It just clipped into the ground. Yep, there it goes. And that one popped up back above the ground? So did that one. Huh. I don't think I've actually had that happen before when I do this. Interesting. Anyway. So, the coordinates we ended up at are roughly -334 and z4. Now, if you're curious about this and you didn't feel like doing the math, try doing it yourself and see whether or not you got something close to those coordinates. Basically, you figure out if you did the thing, if you did whatever formulas you used right. Yeah, math. I'm bad. So anyway, let's dig down. Let's go into the stronghold. If I don't find it, there we go. Now, like I said, it's made out of abyssal stone bricks, and just like the normal stronghold, it leads you to an entrance. And of course, you'll have to search your way through. Now, it is basically set up exactly the same way as the normal overworld stronghold. It's got iron doors, it's got, in this case, it's abyssal buttons. I destroyed it. Oops. I meant to press it. You'll find chests with loot, with dungeon loot in them. Using the same odd sort of structure spawning you sometimes get. Dark stone cobblestone stairs. Yeah, and you'll basically find look around until you end up finding the power stone. Wow. Just out of curiosity, what happens if you click Power Stone Tracker while you're in here? I wonder why it does that. Well, let's go look. Does it just take you back to the entrance? maybe. I'm asking this because I have had a couple of interesting things with in the test for this. The Power Stone tracker actually took me directly to the Power Stone rather than just the entrance, which I honestly found a bit odd. But no, I think that was more just coincidence in the way the structure spawned. So yeah, I think at this point I will cut away until I find something interesting. Okay, so like I said, there are chests with dungeon loot in them. So let's see what sort of things you can find. Ender Pearl and Abyssal Knight leggings and boots, which are good dungeon loot for the Abyssalcraft mod. But yeah, that's the kind of thing you can find. You may have noticed that I am only running the Abyssalcraft and Optifine. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I'm only running Abyssalcraft and Optifine with this particular world save just because of the problems I had with the other one. See, maybe I've cut down on the lag a bit. So anyway, this is the Stronghold room. Now, if you've ever been in a normal vanilla Minecraft Stronghold, which you should have been if you're using this, it looks pretty much exactly like this, except that it's normal stone bricks, and there'd be lava in there, and this is liquid corallium instead. Same there. And here is an abyssal zombie spawner, and that right there is the Dreadlands infused power stone. When this would normally be the end portal frames. Now, excuse me, I'm just going to destroy this real quick. Gonna take out some blocks and block this off, because there has been a couple of things I've noted with the Power Stone that only occurs when you're in survival, where I'm in creative at the moment. So let's see if I can show that off. Alright, now let's see. Oh, it's not happening so far. So something I have had happen is that occasionally, when interacting with the Dreadlands infused Power Stone, you will contract the Dread Plague. It's similar to Wither or Poison, which are basically just two different versions of the same thing. It's just damage over time. But yeah, haven't had that happen yet. Might have just been a fluke. Probably not. So keep that in mind when you do find this thing. Now, something else to keep in mind. I'm not creative anymore. Son of a... Okay. The tools. You need tools to get this stuff. To get this thing. In this case, you'll need a pickaxe. And just to show it off, you'll need a really good pickaxe. A diamond pickaxe? Son of a... Okay, so, a little bit of creative work there. The diamond pickaxe is not good enough. You need something better than diamond pickaxe to collect the Dreadlands infused Power Stone. Now, I think I might speed this up here, because this is a little bit like Obsidian, just to see if it actually can or if it will break it eventually, because I don't actually know about this. It's possible the diamond pickaxe will just break it the way using like a wooden pickaxe on iron ore would just destroy it rather than collect it. Oh, yep. I was correct. Trying to use a diamond pickaxe on the Dreadlands infused Power Stone. It will mine it eventually, but you won't be able to collect it. It will just flat out destroy it. Okay, so more creative work there. I'll just go ahead and just tell you flat out, the Abyssal Knight pickaxe isn't good enough either. You need a refined corallium pickaxe in order to get this. Now, if I was using more mods with this particular world save, you would find out that Wyla will show that it has a harvest level of Manulian from Tinker's Construct, which is basically much higher than Obsidian, which the refined corallium can dig, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. So anyway, if you're using a bunch of mods, keep that in mind. So, click, click, click. It doesn't have a break, mining, there we go. And there it is, the Dreadlands Infused Power Stone. Yeah. Okay, so now that they finally have enough PE in this thing, I can do the ritual. So, why did you need the Dreadlands Infused Power Stone? You needed to upgrade your gateway key. The other items you need for that is this drop, the Eye of the Abyss, which you get from killing a Sora the Fallen, and a Transmutation Gem. It requires 10,000 PE, and just for reference, that is the entirety of what the Abyssal Wasteland Necronomicon can have. And also for reference, the normal Necronomicon can only have 5,000. So yeah, in case you have been going through Abyssalcraft with just the normal Necronomicon, you can't get to the next dimension unless you have the Abyssal Wasteland Necronomicon, even if you know how. But yeah, 10,000 PE, and it can only be done in the Abyssal Wasteland. And I've been waiting long enough to get this done. Let's do it. Okay, now, let's see if I can show this off. See, now I don't think I showed that off before. You can actually see the PE going down in the Necronomicon. Just a nice little touch. And there we go. You now have Asora's dreaded gateway key. And with it, you can create a portal to the next dimension. How do you do that? Just like with the gateway key, you right-click, and boom, portal. Yeah, that easy. Okay, so this was probably the final episode of the parts with the Abyssal Wasteland. Not the final episode of the tutorial, no. So, with the next episode of the tutorial, we will be back into the normal tutorial world with lots of mods and stuff. And hopefully the videos won't be quite so laggy. Yay. So, anyway, next up, the Dreadlands. Blorp! Oh dear, now how do I do this math? These are points along a line. A grid. This is a grid. I don't remember how to do that. Oh dear. I'm gonna have to stop the recording, I think. Blorp! About the stuff I'm talking about, I forgot that I'm bad at math. Especially geometry. Okay, so the stuff I said about the angles and whatnot was probably just crap. Oh, I spent like the last 10 minutes looking up what the heck I'm doing.